Hi, everybody.
Oh.
This is good.
Yep.
See, people want to hear what you have to say. All right. So we're at 50 people. Let's jump on. So hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. I hope you guys are all doing well. I think everybody here knows me, but just in case, I'm Kathy Bush Dutton, the publisher of New England Home, and I'm joining you from my home in Littleton, Massachusetts, in my comfort of my dining room, as opposed to our new editor-in-chief, who's brave enough to be outdoors, God bless her. A major part of what we pride ourselves in doing at New England Home is bringing our design community together. And while we can't physically be together today, we're happy to be with you virtually. And normally we'd be doing this at some beautiful showroom, having drinks and food and saying, come meet our new editor-in-chief, because we're also excited to welcome her. But there was some different plans were in place instead. So I hope you have a glass of your favorite libation, because we all like to do that at our networking events. And you'll join me in a welcoming toast to our new editor-in-chief, Jenna Talbott, who we're so thrilled to welcome to the New England Home family. Here's to you, Jenna. Ting, ting.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, woohoo. Now, I'm going to turn this over to Jenna, and I'm going to disappear for a little bit. Let Jenna take the screen, or maybe I am going to stay on now, I believe. And the only thing I'm going to say, and I won't talk after this, is if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box to ask questions. And at the end of Jenna speaking and telling you about all the exciting things going on, I'll read the questions to her and she'll address them that way. So thanks for joining us. And here's Jenna. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. And thanks, everyone. I'm seeing your chats come through. It's really making this feel a little less scary. This is the first time I've spoken in this way out into my yard and my neighbors and all of you who are presumably there. So yeah, so thank you, Kathy, for this introduction and this opportunity to talk to everybody. I've been really anxious to get in front of you all and have a conversation, or at least a one-way conversation where I can tell you a little bit about how excited I am to be here for sure. I'm on my porch. I'm in Quincy, Massachusetts. It's not too bad out here today. Sometimes it's very breezy. We're by the beach, but so far so good. I owe a huge thanks also to Clinton Smith, the outgoing editor-in-chief, who is now our editor-at-large. He's been a huge support and resource in setting me up for success here at New England Home. And while I've been working really hard from my home these last 6 weeks, I really love it. This is what I love to do. So I'm so happy to be here. It's been crazy getting into a new routine with new coworkers who I only get to G-chat with or video conference with. But I can already tell it's an impressive and very energetic team. So this current situation, current quarantine climate aside, this is actually a really exciting time at New England Home, considering for the last 6 months, we've been working with a content management consultant who is advising us on our internal process and positioning us in a great place for continued success. And I have to say, since I've been out on the street, I have been really impressed with getting to know New England Home in a whole new way. Aside from being the competition when I was at Design New England, it's really been exciting to see. So we've made some changes, some tweaks to our editorial team. Our longtime senior editor, Paula Boda, is now our contributing editor. And we've added a managing editor, our former associate editor, Erica Finch, who many of you know, is now our managing editor. And just last week, Linda Simonton rejoined New England Home, this time as market editor. And so many of you know her, and we'll start to hear from her again in this capacity. So together with our creative director, Robert Lesser, and numerous freelance talent throughout the region. We've really got a great core team, editorial team. It's really, this is part of what's so exciting to me. And of course, our sales team and Kathy and Adam and Chris and everyone else who's involved, they're also a huge part of why this is great. So a little bit about me for those of you who might not have met me or have forgotten who I was. Maybe we met a long time ago. I was the art director at Design New England magazine from the start until the close in 2018. I met many of you on photo shoots or at industry events or just out and about. And wow, I really miss all of that. And I can't wait to do all that again. Believe me, as soon as we can get out there, we will be. But since Design New England closed in 2018, I've worked as a freelance creative director on various publications. I have a partner, we're Burke and Talbott, graphic design, magazine design. And I also spent a lot of time on Instagram on a little startup called Bijou Magazine. Some of you may know, I call it a blogstagram with my former collaborators, Jessica Delaney and Nolani Zervis. Hi, you might be there, hello. But so looking back, I feel like I got great tools going forward. I've had a lot of practice working from home in the last 2 years. So I'm just still going from my little home office. And I spend a lot of time on Instagram where I really enjoy talking to all of you. And I've got a lot of new connections recently that I look forward to getting to know virtually until we can actually meet in person and collaborate together once more. So that's a great place to find me right now. I'm at Jenna Talbott. And then you can also reach me very easily. I'm on email constantly at jtalbott, that's Talbott with 2 T's, at nehomemag.com. And I absolutely welcome your submissions. Definitely looking for new and exciting projects. You can send them right to me. Photos are great. Scouting is great. I need to know just the details. What makes this project special? What's the story here? And who those design professionals are, just to kind of get the conversation started. So please send me things. I would love to see what you have to share. So I feel like, wow, it's 4:09. I've said everything I planned on saying. Is there anything else, Kathy, that I can share that I might have missed?
No, I think, we've got a lot of fun stuff exciting stuff going on. Our Cape and Islands issue.
Oh, yes.
Whose mailbox is next weekend?
Yeah, that's really exciting.
And you're working, and that was, you're working on your first full-blown issue, right? August.
August, we are in the middle of. I'm looking ahead to Connecticut summer, looking ahead to September, October, and next. They come fast and furious here at New England Home. So, oh, do we have a question?
Yeah, we've got a few things. Let's see. Michael Lee saying, yay, about Linda Simonton. Go, Jenna. Cheryl Cheryl Savage says, hi, congrats. Who is handling online digital content for New England Home now?
Oh, that's a great question. So a part of Linda Simonton's job as a market editor will be handling online as well. So she's the person to reach out to. You can also CC me depending on if that's editorial or not. I'm watching closely how our content goes out online. So yeah, that would be Linda.
And speaking of which, we could mention the new, the COVID.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We just rolled out a new series, which we hope, which is really, really helpful for us to put together and very interesting. And we hope you all find it useful as well. Kathy actually surveyed a number of industry professionals to get their take on how they're handling business currently. A lot of these firms have been around for a while and so have weathered other major events. And we've compiled it all into a series that we're calling Design Dialogue, which hopefully will have other episodes in the future. But this one is Navigating the New Design Landscape. I think that's what we called it. And it's all on our website right now. We've been posting quotes on Instagram. And we hope that you find that useful there and can then click through to read the full report or share with your networks as well. It felt like absolutely the right thing to do, or the least that we could do in getting your information out to our audience. So please take a look at that. That'll be ongoing for the rest of this week and next week, I believe. So.
Okay. Let's see. Then I have, what are you featuring in upcoming issues that we can submit for?
Oh,
We
well, always what's that?
We get that question a lot.
Yes. Well, we're featuring great design. So, but actually, I'd love to see kitchens and baths are always a good one to send. And basically, anything that will knock my socks off. I want to see your best work, something that we haven't seen before. Definitely get in touch, and we can get the conversation started. If you have questions about a few projects, which ones should you submit? I mean, this is a good time to get me because I'm logging a lot of desk hours. So please, yeah, get in touch and we can figure it out.
And then I have, let's see, wait a minute, they're jumping around on me. Trevor Fulmer says, hi, Jenna, you're so stylish. Can't wait to hear about your vision.
Thank you.
And then Heather Souza says, her approach to submitting a project to New England Home has been to provide a great image within the body of the email with a small narrative about the project. We also include a Dropbox link, which brings you to more high-res images. Are we on the right track, or would you like to see something more or less?
That sounds great. That sounds great. Yep. Definitely something in the body of the email. You don't have to go into huge detail about the project, but basically a brief is good to include. Location is good. I know this should go without saying, but please let me know that it's unpublished anywhere else. It's also good to know, because I know a lot of these things go out on Instagram. It's good to know that you've shared it there, or it doesn't mean that it can't happen, but it's good to know if it's been seen in other places, just for my own information.
Okay. Georgia Lee is interested to hear about any new directions or fresh ideas.
Oh, always new direction and fresh ideas.
She's always sending me stuff. I'm like, give me a week.
Well, I have to say, we are in a new direction right now. I give a lot of credit to Clinton for really shaping a terrific foundation. I think that it's been rolling out since the November-December issue with a redesign. I don't plan on departing from that specifically anytime soon, but it definitely, when any editor takes the helm, there's a point of view that you'll start to see take shape. I wouldn't pin it down to anything just yet, but we'll all get to know each other, I think. So.
Okay. Paige Lewin says, do we plan to hold more live online industry events as this weird time goes on? I can answer that. You should be receiving an email. We've been doing them every couple of days about all the different virtual events that we're hosting. Next week, we have one called The New Normal, and it's a two-part series. The first one is on Wednesday, and it's with primarily service providers. We have a designer, we have an architect, I'm trying to think, we have builder, landscape architect, and then, so that will be the service. And then on Friday, we're doing one for suppliers, where we have a kitchen showroom. We have Kumar speaking as part of that for Stone. Snow and Jones will be on that as a showroom. Kitchen and bath, and then we have a landscape installer from Paragon. So those, if you're not getting the emails, send us a chat or email me or Jenna, and we'll get you the invitation for that if you're not on our e-blast list. So that's happening. The other things I'm seeing, let's see. Hi, Jenna. This is from Amy Meisner. Hi, Jenna. I'm the paint mixing stick lady. So great to meet you then, and so glad to hear about your position at New England Home. Would love to hear your thoughts about artists working in the industry, making decor items, artwork, etc.
Oh, like how we will be covering artists and makers in the industry? Yeah. Well, yes. Oh, this is something that's actually very, very important to me. I think it's a huge part of our community. We currently have a department called Artistry. We cover a lot of fine art there, but there's, as far as I'm concerned, there's definitely opportunity to highlight, and I know New England Home has done this in the past. The crafts and the makers behind these works, if I'm understanding the question.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And then I have another question. They were asking about the Luxury Home Design Summit, if it's on track for holding it for the community to be able to attend safely. And as many of you probably saw, the Luxury Home Design Summit, which was previously scheduled for next week, has been postponed until the beginning of October. And we're currently working with our host hotel, which is the Chatham Bars Inn, to figure out how we can, in fact, hold it safely with the various social distancing rules that would be in place at that time. So it is happening. As of right now, we're still signing up new speakers, and you can find more information about the summit at luxuryhomedesignsummit.com, or again, drop me an email or ask us any questions and we can let you know. But it is on track to take place safely in October. That's our plan right now. Let's see, I have some other things popping up. Let's see. Looking forward to working with you, from Kathy at Frank Shirley Architects. Let's see. How can galleries and artists interact best with designers in your magazine? Will you cover art with design in upcoming editions? I mean, we always, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and yeah, and I should say that those kinds of submissions, I mean, I was talking in general about home design submissions, but yes, absolutely. As a gallerist, please send your things, or if you represent an artist, or if you are an artist or a maker, you can also use that email address to contact me and pitch yourself or your artist, for sure. I'm seeing that question on chat now too. Do you see the chat questions, Kathy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes. Then I have another one from Barbara Hirsch asking, what type of interiors are you looking for? Is the publishing calendar full for the next 2 years?
Yes and no. There's a lot. There's always a lot to go through. I'm hoping to cover the range of design that happens in New England. So I'm not going to say there's any specific type that I'm looking for. I know it when I see it, and I like to get variety in every issue. So let's start. You could start by sending it and seeing where it goes.
Here's some positive feedback. Dane Austin said he's heard lots of great feedback on our larger font size and not having to put on glasses to read the articles, which, Dane, now that I'm over 50, I can't agree with you more. And we can thank Clint for that.
No, is that a real thing? I thought he was making a joke. That's so funny. I haven't seen an actual printed magazine. No, I have. That's not true.
No, it is true.
That's great. Well, I thought my eyes were just doing better.
Yeah. Let's see. And then he's also asking if there's any opportunities that we can, highlight some of the younger up and coming designers to be showcased. Especially those who may not have such a vast portfolio, but could benefit from having a little bit more exposure. Sort of like our 5 under 40 winners, how we can, promote some of their work. But I'll let you answer that.
Well, that's the purpose of Next, correct?
Yeah,
Next.
True. Yes.
Yeah. But absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't. There's no hard and fast rule. I mean, it's interesting what can make a story, honestly. And so it's hard to put any, really hard and fast guidelines around what makes the best story for our readers and community. So again, the best possible thing is to submit, and so we can see what you do, and keep doing it. I mean, I think at this point with magazines, there just aren't as many. There's not as many spots. It does feel a bit like winning the lottery or winning an award when you actually get published. It just isn't a guarantee, even if your project is spectacular, or there are just only so many spots. So, but the first step is to submit it, and just like a writer, submit it a bunch of places. Don't be afraid of rejection.
Right. And then somebody's asking if we'll have another edition of Rise and other special issues, which we'll do next again, which is designed for the next generation in the fall of this year. And then we will continue to have Rise. That's our plan right now, right? Mm-hmm. In January of next year. So I can answer that one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Someone, Amy, I'm sorry, is asking, will you be featuring projects or artwork that's considered sustainable and eco-friendly?
Absolutely. That's very important to me. I would like to see many, many, many submissions of that sort. I know it's happening out there, but the answer is yes.
And here's another one too. When you were with Design New England, as a longtime competitor of New England Home, what were the things you saw that you would have evolved? Wait a minute, I gotta read it. What were the things, I only had a half a sip of wine so far. What were things that you would have evolved or changed about New England Home to be a better competitor to your old magazine?
Who asked this question?
Yeah, jeez.
Well,
them out.
That feels like a trick, but no, and I know who asked that question. I think that's really interesting to think about. I just can't help but think of, relate it to myself. I've always found these kinds of stories to be best told as a story, and it's human, and we're talking about homes that are, especially now, it's the most important thing. It's the center of our lives right now. So I think that in answer to that question, it's really teasing out that story, that human element, in terms of even of producing a story for New England Home. It's really feeling like it transports the reader. It sparks their imagination, their inspiration, all that stuff. It should feel like you're like, wow, this is really cool. I love it. It's warm. It's inviting. There's an aspirational element. But now this is what good design is about. And this is why this design is good. I think that's an important part of the storytelling too, is what makes this really work.
And then someone else has asked, their firm primarily does residential historical restoration. Is this something you will feature?
I'm interested in that, and this is New England.
Yes,
that's a big part of our design sensibilities. I live in an extremely old house myself, so I'm personally quite into it. But I think absolutely historic restoration, historic preservation. Please send your project.
I love that. Yes. And now this is interesting because you and I are talking about something like this. I don't know if we want to make any announcements, but this is Georgia Lee. I've been loving the Insta Live walkthroughs of designers' own homes. I personally watched Mally Scocks. I watched Sarah Winchester, not a designer, but in our world as a photographer. Would this be something you might consider? What platform leaps from paper to digital what platforms that leap from paper to digital are in the works?
Well, we have a lot of ideas about that. I think it's very important, especially now, to figure out how to bring some really immediate content to our audience. Kathy and I talk about this a lot. We haven't ruled anything out. It's just basically, our limitations are what, this this small but mighty team can pull together. And there's a lot of moving parts, even with just a Zoom presentation like this. So, but absolutely, Instagram is, like I said earlier, is something it's very important to me, and I enjoy quite a bit personally. So we're open and exploring those possibilities for sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mally loves that Jenna loves the story, transports the reader to good design, and that you like the why.
Yes. Yep. Well, it's all about the why. As an artist and graphic designer myself, that's always been like all these decisions that I make when I'm creating something. There's a reason. It's not, just what looks good. There's a real function and thinking behind it, and that's, to me, very important to the storytelling.
And Georgia, to answer your question, granted this isn't doing a live, but find our Cape and Islands issue, which will be out next week. I don't even know what day it is.
Starts mailing today,
yeah,
so it will start hitting. Yep.
And we actually have Mally Scott's.
Oh, that's July, August.
Pod.
But that's the July, August issue.
Sorry, in the July, August issue. Yes. But it's on Cape, but there you go.
Yes.
So we'll give you that in print, and then we're looking at doing some stories around that possibly.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't want to
Yeah. I just said we're looking into it. I didn't say we're doing it. What else? There's some long ones in here. I just don't know if I can read them all.
You people you're all typing. I love it.
I know. Yeah, this is Kelly Taylor. Kelly Taylor's from Rhode Island, and she's a previous 540 winner. She said, I'm sitting in my backyard with Melinda Cox of Balanced Design. She designs textiles and rugs, and there's so many other local makers like her. Yeah. How can we work better to encourage local sourcing, particularly in light of current circumstances? And as Kelly, I'd love to know if you'd be willing to share your editorial calendar so we know when to pitch what type of projects.
Just keep pitching them. Yeah.
I was going to interject here too. Keep in mind, while the magazine may only have 4 features, like complete homes, we need lots of content. We have lots of departments in the front of the book, rooms we love. We feature good architecture, obviously artistry, artisans. We do so many different, where we don't need to have the whole, we're doing something for kitchens, where we'll just focus on some beautiful kitchens. So don't hold back on submitting just because you don't have a full-blown gorgeous house from, inside and out. Keep that in mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's part of what we figure out. The editors here is you send us something really great. We're like, oh, how do we tell this story? Is this part of a bigger package or a bigger focus, or is this just a great thing to find a home for in our pages? Absolutely.
I don't know if you want, this is one from Joanne DiFrancesco. How do you think, hi. What do you think is going to be the biggest trend on what homeowners are going to be looking for in the new normal?
Oh, that's interesting, because I've been thinking about that a lot. And we've had, Kathy, you and I have both been on discussions about that. Well, I think that homework rooms and home offices are going to make a big, they're going to be big. I think the whole idea of this open plan or great rooms where, the family room, dining area, and kitchen are all open to each other. I think now that we're all crowded into those spaces together, maybe it's time to have some little annex space that you can go and get away, or have a phone call or do a project or homework or home office work. I mean, I have a small family, 1 child. I can't imagine, we have 1 extra computer, how it works with 2 adults and 3 or 4 kids of all ages needing workspace right now. Now, granted, we're not going to be doing this forever, but certainly I think people are looking at those spaces or in these spaces and experiencing them differently than when we all just convened for dinner and television. So I think we'll see some changes.
Okay, I'm getting questions out, just so you know, through the Q&A, through the chat, and on my cell phone.
Oh, no.
So let's see. I'm sorry about that. Holly Joe wants to know, do you like to see before shots as well as the scouting pictures?
Sometimes that helps when we're trying to decide how to tell the story. They don't typically make it to print. That's always been my feeling. So they can be helpful in the pitch, but you don't have to go crazy with that. Scouting, we see less and less of as many people opt for professional photography for sending, but we absolutely can. We can look at scouting if that's what you currently have for a project. Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so we had some other questions that were submitted via Eventbrite when people registered.
Mm-hmm.
So Emily's going to pop in and read those questions to you.
Okay.
Should I keep my video off or should I bring it on?
You can do whatever, which way.
Okay. So, Jenna, there are a few questions that were submitted earlier. Most of them also welcoming you to the team. One big one was, what is your goal for this year?
What is my goal for this year? Ooh, just to make it through. No, I think, I guess in terms of the magazine, I want to meet a lot of you that I haven't met. That's a big goal, which I took for granted before. I think really get to know New England Home. As I said, I've been on with the competition for many years, and I've already gotten to know so much more and gotten to love so much more about the magazine than I could have ever realized before. So that's it. I mean, these things, we're always working a certain amount of lead time out. So right now we'll be getting ready to plan 2021 issues, and I'm looking forward to this time next year really feeling like I know what I'm doing, but really it's just to keep growing, keep getting the best of New England design in these pages. Those are my broad goals.
Mm-hmm.
Get a nice mask.
Get a nice mask.
Coordinating mask, yeah.
Kind of on that note, a few are touching on what changes are we making due to the work from home order. I don't know.
Are we making changes to the magazine because of work from home?
One specific question is New England Home making any changes to their SOP in light of the work from home order?
Not that I'm aware of. We
No.
are, yeah, business as usual.
We're all working from home. Fortunately, we can.
Yeah.
Our printer's open.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all connected. Yep. Yeah. I mean, the virtual events for the immediate are the biggest change, but yeah, still trying to connect with people as well as we can.
Mm-hmm. And what future events are you considering to host as virtual events?
Oh, well, there's a few. Yeah.
We had talked about next week, the new norm, which is operating basically, as I said before, from a supplier standpoint as well as a service provider. Those are next Wednesday and Friday. We also have a big event that usually takes place in Stamford at a design showroom called the Wakefield Design Center. And that event has turned virtual, and we started it it's going to be 3 consecutive Thursdays, I should say. Our first one was today, and we'll have another one next week that is really more for outdoor planning, landscape architecture. We have Doyle Herman speaking. They're a big outfit out of Greenwich, landscape architecture firm, and they're actually members of the Hall of Fame. And then also Janice Parker is speaking on that panel as well. And then following that, we're talking about, Mario Butada and his works. We have someone speaking about his background, and that's the week after that one. So there's more information. If you want more information, again, let me know. So those are events we're doing right now, and maybe we'll have networking events this way, just regular virtual networking. It's
really great. I've got the chat panel open, and I see all of you asking questions, but also talking to each other. So there's a little virtual.
Kathy had commented to say congratulations to you. She said, as an interior designer with a focus on kitchens, I think the walk-in pantry will be huge for kitchen design.
Absolutely. And we're all currently obsessed with organization. Yes. pantries for sure.
Deborah Laporte is asking, how much effort should designers put into professional photo shoots for submission purposes? Will you most likely reshoot or publish available photography?
That's a great question. I think that comes up a lot. I think, like I was saying before, I know that, and it's great that everyone wants to be published, but it's just not. It's not it's not a guarantee, and of course it doesn't mean that the work isn't good. There's just only so many spots. I think that design professionals should be photographing their work professionally, and it shouldn't be to submit to a magazine. It should be for their own marketing purposes and their portfolios. I think that's absolute. That's project installed. Shoot it with a professional photographer, and then oh, this might be great, and Jenna might like this at New England Home. Then send it to me, and maybe we can make a story out of it. But yeah, that's my
Excellent.
feeling.
Let's see, someone else. How has the pandemic impacted readership of New England Home? Thank you, Colin. I can answer that. We're actually seeing more people. Again, I think it's because everyone is at home. Normally, obviously we do readership studies, and I won't get into that right now, but normally we get input from people. Maybe we get 5 or 6 people writing in after an issue comes out asking about a paint color they see, or who was that light fixture from if we didn't list it in our resource section. And since the May-June issue hit, we've gotten 4 times those number of questions that we usually get. And again, I think it's because, not to say people don't spend their time with their magazines normally anyways, but it is an amazing issue, May, June in particular, I believe. But also people have more time. They have less things they can do, so they're reading their magazines more timely, I think. I even had one person send me a note that they enjoyed the May, June issue while soaking in their bathtub, which was very funny.
Oh, that sounds luxurious.
Exactly, exactly. So,
I love getting things in the mail.
Yeah,
I'm going to subscribe to more magazines.
Yeah, exactly. And we've had more subscribers picking up too now. So
yeah,
to answer your question.
I see Dane's got a follow-up to that question I just answered about professional photography.
Yeah.
Mind if I jump in? He says, curious to know what percentage of projects you reshoot versus using the designer's photos taken by a professional photographer in the area. Well, that just all depends. It depends on a lot of things. I think a magazine story, the photography needs to feel. There needs to be some styling. There needs the spaces should feel livable and inhabited. A little more lifestyle, at least to my taste. To tell a magazine story. That might not be the case for your marketing photos if you're an architecture firm and you want to show the graceful lines of a space. But certainly to tell the magazine story, we need to see that space warmed up and inhabited. So that's where we make the call on whether or not to reshoot or produce it ourselves. So if you're an interior designer and you're hiring a photographer, I think it definitely pays to produce that shoot. I think that it plays well out in the market for your own uses too. But that's the process that goes into deciding if something should be reshot. I mean, the magazine's own sort of design sensibilities come into play too. So.
And then I was lax. I didn't quite finish answering Colin. You had asked specifically about readership in the print magazine, but I would be lax if I didn't mention that we've seen our online traffic shoot through the roof. I mean, like double from year over year from last year at this time. And obviously increase tremendously in the month of April as well, but big increases in our online readership. So,
yeah.
Somebody, Cheryl, let's see, has asked, we have any thoughts of rescheduling Tim Corrigan's event? So we haven't, he was coming to Boston, he was on a book tour, and he really wanted to be out, obviously, showing his book, signing copies, selling the book. So we're gonna talk to him again about possibly seeing if something happens in the fall, but we just have so much other things going on in the fall that I'm not sure what his travel schedule is either. Like, he was tough to get to Boston in the first place, but we're going to see. We're going to try to do everything. It wouldn't be virtual though. I could tell you that, unfortunately, because he'd like to get out and see people and sell some books. Let's see.
Linda Merrill has a question, I think that comes up a lot too on chat. It says, does the designer need publishing their projects on their own websites or social media, pending being accepted by the magazine? And I think that's a great question. I don't, and I think it's a matter of opinion where different editors are concerned. I think Clinton and I have talked about this a little bit. I try to take it case by case, but if you're shooting a project for marketing purposes and for your website, I don't generally mind if it's on a website. Certainly shouldn't be published anywhere else, and it shouldn't be submitted anywhere else when you submit it to me. You only submit to one magazine at a time. Instagram is a little trickier. I think people's memories are short when it comes to things that are on Instagram, and you just can't compete with what a magazine can show, at a large size versus what's on your phone screen. So obviously, when you go to your own expense to shoot your work, it's hard to wait until a magazine decides if they want to publish it or not. It doesn't necessarily rule it out for me if you've shared that on your Instagram or on your website. But if it's everywhere, all over the place, if all I have to do is Google it, and there it is in a million different places, that's too much.
All right, I'm checking back to,
Barbara Hirsch has another question, how we can support the magazine industry. Subscribe.
Support the magazine industry. I mean, keep reading and keep, helping, mentioning it to people.
Tell everyone you love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Magazine.
And luckily, as I said, we have a strong position. We're still printing 45,000 copies, and we found, obviously there's been less newsstands available. Obviously the ones inside grocery stores and pharmacies have been available, and airports. But what we did is we went out and we've increased some mailing of some copies. We always have people, asking to get copies of the magazine, but we keep the number at 45,000. So we've done that. And we also have found a firm that it will be distributing the magazine as things start opening up, to be sitting inside, golf courses, spas, that type of thing. So we'll do more of that into doctors' offices, which we haven't really done a lot of that in the past. And we will only do that until all the other newsstands really open up. And then we might scale that back a little bit, but keep that number at 45,000. So we're having to be a little creative on how we get those copies into the right people's hands that can afford to purchase the products and the things that you see in the magazine. So hopefully that answers your question. And it's been wonderful to see how many people in the industry are doing great things to help out.
Oh, yeah.
That's just been wonderful, heartwarming.
There was one follow-up question from Amy Messner in terms of submissions. How long should we wait before we submit to another magazine after submitting to New England Home? Well, you shouldn't submit to another magazine while I've got a submission. I know it can be hard to wait, but basically lead times being what they are, it often is a year before I can publish something that's been submitted. If you want to try your luck someplace else, you just need to let me know, and maybe you get in sooner someplace else, or but you have to. It's important to communicate your intention to send it another place, and then I can say, okay, I'm going to hold off on this. It kind of takes you out of the line, but yeah, it's usually about a year before a magazine's story comes out. So you can always email me. Say, if you haven't heard an answer, it's like, I'd really like to get this somewhere. I'd like to send it someplace else. And I say, okay.
Cool.
Good to know. Yep.
Well, it looks like, Sarah Winchester loves the idea of the golf course, which is good.
I was wondering about,
Let me know if it makes it into your golf course, Sarah. That means I know they're doing their job. And I think we're good.
Yeah.
So, Thank
This
you,
has been
everyone. We've
great.
had, just to let you know, you probably can't see this, but we had 100 people here, which is great. At one point, that was the high. So thank you, everyone, for coming on and joining us. And we love to have you. And I can't wait to see you all in person. I miss this. I'm social. I love to be out.
No.
My family's ready to get me out of the house.
Gosh, and it wasn't so scary as I thought. Let's do this again, Kathy.
Yeah, we will. We definitely will do it again. We definitely will, especially as long as we have to stay inside. See, my phone's still going off. Hold on. Let's see. Is this another question? Anyways, good. Well, I will hope to see you all soon. I'm looking forward to continuing working with Jenna. We're having a lot of fun already, which is great. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. All right.
Cheers to the sunshine.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Just watching these come through. Oh, yay. I love the parting words.
Yep, it's awesome.
It's still
It's
feeling
slowly going down. I was just gonna keep it on so you can read through.
The music come up, a little bit of jazz.
I just I wanted you because I was trying to read through as fast as I could. People are still listening. Hi, everyone, we're still here talking.
Yeah. Yep, everyone's sending messages. I love seeing these chat messages.
I know you would, but I'm afraid if I hit end that they won't go.
I know, that's what I'm so we're gonna stay. We're staying for the final credits.
Yes. Yeah, people saying it's great. That was great. Thank you. Great to meet you. Thanks for the Zoom. It was really nice to see you both and to hear more about the magazine. This was great. Thanks, everyone.
Ellie says, home has never been more important. We are in the right industry. I think this is true. Yeah.
My favorite mag. We like that. Well done, ladies. People are happy.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks. Terrific. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Thanks for doing this. It's great.
Woohoo.
I know. See? Patty Watson, thank you. Yeah, lots of stuff. This is awesome. That was good.
That was really fun. Trying to see.
All right, I'm going to hit the end meeting. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.